Okay, good afternoon, everyone. It's Ajay Billav here, and I take care of the operations part. And I'm gonna be your host today for today's interesting session. I believe you might have already gone through the topic that would be shared, and I believe you know who would be the speaker, right? And so, yep. So before I start with the mentor introduction, I would like to tell about today's topic. That is, how does digital marketing of a company actually work? And what does a digital marketing head actually do in terms of the digital marketing perspective, right? So these are the things which are currently in trend, and everyone, each another, want to know about digital marketing and how does it works. And today's mentor, today's speaker is Aman Mehra, and I believe you might have already seen him before also. So Aman Mehra has a bachelor's in computer science, and he's currently the director at Tribe Co-living, and he has a work experience in many multinational companies like Quick Week, Games 24 into 7, and Trophy. And he's proficient in business development, marketing, and data analysis. And he's determined to keep innovating and be a role model for coming generation by bringing the industry norms. So this was a quick introduction on the speaker. I believe he would be the best person to give you a better insights on how digital marketing works. Let's say if you are planning to build your career in terms of digital marketing, in as a fresher or an experienced person, I think this session will give you those insights to get your questions clarified, right? So let me not waste much of your time. I would be handing it over to Aman. Aman, it's all yours. You can proceed further. And thank you so much for attending, Aman.
Thanks so much, and thanks for having me on this webinar. I really appreciate this opportunity. It's always a pleasure talking to people, and explaining to them what actually happens. Because a couple of years ago, I was in the same position doing my engineering. I'll do one thing. Let me just share my screen as a presentation, and we can go through that. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself and what we've done as well.
Sure.
I'll just share my screen. Is my screen visible?
It is, Aman.
Okay, fantastic. Let me just. So, my name is Aman Mehra, and I am one of the founding members of our co-living and student housing brand called Tribe. This is basically an ultra luxury co-living and student housing brand that we started a couple of years ago. And I am the CMO and CTO of the company, as well as one of the founding members and director. So I manage marketing and tech, as well as the complete brand element. So, I thought today's topic was quite interesting in terms of what is involved in marketing for a company and what does a marketing head do. Because, when I was a student, this is basically the initial questions that I would have. I keep hearing, okay, digital marketing is this, digital marketing is that, marketing is this, but what actually happens? What do I need to do to learn it? Is this something interesting on a daily basis that I want to do, or is it just like, something flashy? So, moreover about, who I am, I think, this has been brought up before quite well. So I've done my engineering in VIT Vellore, in computer science, and I did my master's in the UK. In e-business management, and in general, I love marketing, design, brand, and technology personally. I was also awarded the Young Indian Achievers Award in 2020 for excellence in marketing for the work we had done with Tribe. So this is moreover a background of what I've done. I'm just giving you a little background of what our company is, because I'll be giving a lot of examples along the way of what we've done at Tribe. So, just so that everyone has a good idea of what I'm talking about. So, like I said, we're the first luxury student hostel operator in India. When we talk luxury, we're talking complete like 5-star amenities for students. So it's not typical luxury. It's quite international. The kind of branding and the brand we've made is very international. The kind of marketing we do is very different. It's not very Indian, very typical. So, we have approximately 550 beds in 2 cities, and we are at a growing stage. And the pictures used throughout this presentation here and there are actual pictures of our properties. So, you get a good idea of the kind of stuff that I'm going to be talking about. So that I thought, this would help. So, this was moreover our mission to be the best possible student living experience in India with the happiest customers. And all our marketing, all our branding, everything that we do in terms of our communication is based around this one mission. So, the mission, the vision, the brand is quite important. Even as a marketer, when you're planning things, you're planning campaigns, it's quite important. So, to get to the main topic of today, what is actually marketing's job? So, it's a very simple thing that the job of marketing is to basically get the customer to the front door and to get the customer to call you and to get in touch with your sales team. It's as simple as that. So if it's an online business, marketing's job would be to get the best quality leads that would give you, the highest chance of buying something from you. If it was a store offline, it's marketing's job to get the most amount of correct footfalls. It's not just footfalls, it's the correct footfalls. Like, for example, if I have a luxury brand like a Louis Vuitton, I don't want, kids walking in there, who are the age of 14 and 15. So then my marketing is wrong, even if it's a high footfall. I want people who are obviously of a certain, lifestyle, who appreciate the product to come in. In an Apple store, I don't want like 65 70-year-old people walking in, because they might not understand the product and be interested in that as compared to a 25 or 30-year-old or a 35-year-old. So in short, marketing's job is to basically creatively put your message across, put your company across, put your product across to the right people at the right time, and to bring the right people to your door in the least possible cost, and with the highest chance of them basically buying your product and being a customer with you for a very long time. So this is basically in overall what is marketing's job. After that, it's the job of sales, it's the job of your website and your retention team to make them buy it and to make them keep coming back. So that is the job of sales. I hope there are no questions until now. I can move on, right? Ajay?
Yes, Aman, you can.
All right, great. So the next obvious question is, but how do we bring these customers? So what is the main work frame of any company's, marketing plan? So whether you're, starting up as a small store, you're doing something on your own, or you're a multinational with, 2 lakh employees, moreover, your marketing is based around this structure. Obviously, there are additions and subtractions depending on your business, but this is your main structure, So, you have your online and your offline, which is moreover what, your marketing is kind of divided into, right? So in online, you have digital marketing, which is a huge sphere in itself currently, which is something which is quite popular. And I'll be going, more deep into why this has become so popular and why this is actually practically something that is very interesting right now. Then you have SEO, you have your social media. Today, things like Instagram, Facebook, TikTok in some places, LinkedIn are extremely important channels for different kinds of businesses. Then you have PR, which is your public relations, where you're talking about, magazines, newspapers, blogs, the right places, the right message, and why that is important. That is also something we'll be going into. And then, you have other things like your customer emailers, automating these systems, continuously being in touch with them. So this is moreover your framework of your online marketing. And then you have, your offline marketing, which is also quite important, which is your ATL, BTL. When you say ATL, BTL, you are talking about moreover things like, billboards, you're talking about actual print, newspapers, magazines, radio, you're talking about like, things like pamphlets in malls. This is moreover your print media, that you're talking about in terms of ATL, BTL. And in terms of activations, there are very innovative things that, brands do right now, even offline. They do like guerrilla marketing, which is, they'll have certain like pop-up dances in places, or they'll do certain, activities on ground, or, this could be like, you set up stalls in different places. So that is moreover what we talk in terms of offline activations. And, then you have sponsorships. So, a lot of like brand tie-ups, like as Tribe, we do a lot of sponsorships with, universities directly sponsoring a lot of their college fests, because that is exactly where my target market is. So you have a lot of sponsorships, we do a lot of brand tie-ups. You scratch my back, I scratch your back. I'll give you customers. You market my product more to your other customers. So we do a lot of deals on that front. And then of course there is offline PR. So online PR is when you're talking about, online blogs, you're talking about online websites, like, things like yourstory.com is something very important for startups like us. Place things like Architecture Digest is extremely a huge international magazine for a brand like us that is very focused on design. So, coming up in these places online is also huge PR. And offline, the same thing would be in magazines, in newspapers, in, different avenues offline where, people read or consume content. So, on an overall, this is moreover the framework, in a very basic skeleton format on how any company would set up, their marketing mix. So, as a marketer, my main thing is based around, which of these are important to me, how important is each one to me, and how do I want to attack these things creatively, what are my budgets going to be based around these things. And moreover, being a marketer is about how do I play with these two formats of online and offline in terms of decisions, in terms of creativity, in terms of content, in terms of budget, to ultimately bring the best quality of leads at the lowest cost possible, who will stay with us the longest. That is basically the entire game. Moving ahead, why digital marketing is so popular. This is a very, in topic for the last, 4 or 5 years now, and this is something which is becoming, quite streamlined and quite in trend. There are a lot of digital marketing, universities, courses that have come up, and rightly so. Initially it used to be something very learned on yourself and very learned with, tweaking things and trying things out. And now gladly there are so many more courses. So a very important question is, why is digital marketing so popular? And like if you compare it to things like traditional marketing, which would be newspaper ads or billboard ads or whatever. So the biggest and the most important aspect of this is, you can target someone exactly in terms of who your real customer is. So you can show an ad exactly to someone who is your target customer. For example, at Tribe, we know we are a student hostel. So my target customer is someone who is a male or a female between the age of 18 and 23, who has a certain level of, income, who lives in a certain bracket. I want to show my ads only in these certain pin codes. I want them to be shown only at this time of the day, because I know at XYZ time my customers are most active, and I want XYZ ad to be shown to a different kind of customer. I can show a different ad to a male, a different ad to a female. And after that, I can track everything completely till they call my team and they close a sale. So the most important is targeting. The same problem is, if I spend 1 lakh, for example, rupees 1 lakh on Google search or Instagram, I know exactly who I'm targeting, what age, what gender, what location, what time, what ad. So I know none of my money is going for waste. Whoever is seeing it is 95% my target market. Whereas the same thing I would put on a radio or I would put on a billboard is kind of more broad, right? So you will never have control over how many people are seeing it. You don't know who is seeing it. You don't know if exactly the money you spent is going in the right place or not. Yes, there are broad ways of targeting it. Like today, you have people putting up QR codes. Why do they put up QR codes, or why do they have different numbers? Is because when people scan the QR codes, you can judge, okay, from this QR code, if I spend 1 lakh rupees, I've got like 100 scans, which means like then I can compare it to my other campaign and see how does this work for me. But that's a very broad way. So you don't really waste any of your ad budget when you're doing it digitally. Then point number 2 is, exactly who's looking at it. So, sorry, point number 1 again. I think I spoke about point number 2 first, but point number 1 was you show an ad when someone searches. This is extremely important where, things like Google search. Now, only when I am searching for an ad to buy a phone will I see an ad for an iPhone. It's not like I'm randomly scrolling through things and I'm being pushed that. Only when I'm searching for a hostel will I be shown Tribe. Only when I'm searching for a holiday, in Manali, will I get an ad about hotels in Manali, right? So, especially in things like Google search, it is so important and so amazing because Google will only charge me when someone who is searching for my product sees my ad. And that is beautiful because there is literally no waste. I am not doing any push marketing. And the most important thing for a marketer is to show an ad at the right time when someone really needs it, which is the most difficult thing because how do you gauge when someone needs something and then show an ad at that time so that they pick your brand and product and then they use that, right? So here, when someone is searching for it, that is literally the most important time that someone is looking to buy or purchase. So, and then point number 3 is, exactly how much it costs to bring a customer. So, online, the beautiful thing is everything is so trackable. Like I can see impressions, that is how many times my ad is shown. I know how many people have clicked on a certain type of ad. Out of that, after that, I know from the clicks how many people have visited my website. After that, I know how many people have become a lead. After that, I can also track how many people have become a sale. And if I was a complete e-commerce company, I can even track about over their lifetime how much they've spent with me. So I can track things like ROI. So tomorrow I have such amazing data where I can track that if I show X ad with a red button in November during Diwali last year, this ad worked much better than me than the others. Why? Because the people that came to me from this ad now over 2 years have spent the most amount of money with me. So there is something in that ad that worked in terms of the people that got me. So today the ads that you see, by top companies are so highly targeted and are so highly studied. Sometimes, and there are a lot of times you feel like, I said something and I saw an ad. And that is one of the most, bizarre things that happen to us, but that is completely based on guesswork and prediction modeling and other things which are quite interesting, which I'll talk about later, about how these things happen. So there's a lot of tracking and information involved, which is all automated. So you can literally track everything online, which is why, it is, then you can optimize. So you can always keep saving costs. So which is why a lot of people spend a lot online. This is why digital marketing is absolutely popular. And in fact, even in terms of Tribe, I can say about 85% of our budget is completely digital. It's directly on people's phones. So now the next question would be, so how do we decide, the plan to market? So now this is one of the most important jobs of mine, as a marketing head of a company where, every quarter or every month we sit together and we decide, okay, so, now this quarter, this is going to happen. We are launching a new project or, we have festivals or we have like a new offer that is going to land up. So what are we going to do in terms of marketing? Right. So we sit together, we brainstorm together, and moreover, these are the 4 things, that we kind of discuss, whether it's half an hour, it's 1 hour, we're kind of discussing, okay, where do we see our customers spending most of their time? So this is like the most important question that any brand has to answer. Like, for example, for Tribe, I know if my customers between the age group of 18 to 22 today, they are spending most of their time on Instagram. And second, they're spending most of their time on TikTok. And I know for a fact that none of them are spending any time on Facebook. Because Facebook today, we see, is now moreover a social media platform of 35 or 40 plus, audience that are actually using it very, very well. And it's no more, you can say, a platform as much as it used to be for, the lower age groups. Twitter is something which is still more varied. But I know my target market doesn't use Twitter anymore. Twitter is still more vocal, still more towards, the late 20s, the 30s, the 40s is something that, people on Twitter are moreover of the age group of. So I know, so the most important thing is to understand, do a lot of study, talk to people, talk to your customers, see where they are spending most of the time. That gives you a good idea of, okay, X, Y, Z is where I should spend my money. Okay, Facebook is not where I should spend my money if I want sales. Like, for example, like LinkedIn is not where my customers, they're kids from college, or, they're studying in college. So I know for me, Instagram, I know TikTok, that these are the places that my target market spends most of the time. Now, the second thing would be, we create content that is attractive to them. And this is the most difficult part of creating any sort of, marketing mix or marketing campaign. That, okay. And, this is where most companies stumble. And this is where we have been very successful. Although it's taken us, a lot of time to figure out and crack this entire thing, right? Because we had to keep reiterating every month for the last 2 years. And now we've cracked what should our marketing be, what does our brand want to be perceived as, what does the audience really like to interact with us, because what does everyone want, right? Everyone wants people to talk more about them. That is what marketing does, right? To have more conversation, to talk more, so that ultimately they say, have you heard of this brand, have you heard of this brand? It's in their head, and they come and they buy from you eventually. So we create content that is attractive to them. So then my team sits and researches, okay, so now this age group on Instagram, what do they really look at? So, we'll go, so what we do is, a trick that we do is that we go to the pages that we think these guys follow a lot. So we know like memes work a lot for our client, right? They love memes. They love hip hop music. They love things like, there's a huge part of my clientele that loves sports. There's a huge part of my clientele that just loves like fun reels, and reels are a huge trending aspect right now. They love trending music. So we know we spend a lot of time to figure out that, okay, this is the kind of content that, my target market likes. So number one is, where do I target my customer? Where are they spending most of their time? Whether, currently I'm talking online, but a similar thing fits offline. Second is, what is the content that we want to put out to them? So even if they're offline, like what is a billboard, for example, that would grab their attention? What is like the places that they go to that would grab their attention? Like you'll never see an Apple billboard on a bus stop. You'll always see an Apple billboard in extremely prime locations. Why? Because they are targeting people who are going through those locations. They know the kind of people who travel through those locations. So this is offline. Now the third is, okay, now we know the two most important things. We know where our customers, we know what we want to show them. We have both things ready. We have our ads ready. So how do we target them? So now this is where more technical things come in. This is where the study is required. This is where more and more research is required, right? Because you want to like, so now if I know, okay, I want to show this ad to these people on Instagram, then I need to know how to use the ad platform of Instagram. If I know, okay, this is my target market, this is the kind of ad they respond to, I want to show it on Google search, I need to know how to use Google Ads. So this is where your study, certification, thinking, analytics, all this comes in, right? So this is where, like, things like your Google Ads certificate is extremely important and extremely helpful. Doing a lot of webinars, seminars on Facebook ads, Instagram ads is extremely helpful. So now we sit together with our team, with our agency, we create the campaigns, we see the targeting. If we have to do testing on 2 campaigns, we do A/B testing, and we set up the campaigns perfectly and we test them. This is step number 3. And then step number 4 is, okay, now we've run this, have a pilot budget. So I decide, okay, say our pilot budget, for example, is 50,000 rupees. We're going to spend 50,000 rupees. We're going to run these 3 campaigns. And now in the first 2 weeks, I'm going to see what is the result on these 3 campaigns. So we'll spend some time, we'll see what are the results we get. We'll compare them. We'll see, okay, this one has to improve a little more. Like, why are we getting less clicks on this one? Now, if I've run 2 of the same campaigns, one with the green button, one with the red button, I see that the red button is getting more clicks on it. So I know that the green button is not working very well. So then I'll remove that one. I'll keep putting more money in the red one. So these are small things that you keep doing to keep improving it. I see the reports every day. And okay, XYZ campaign. Suddenly now I'm seeing like lesser people are interested in this campaign. One campaign, I'm seeing, okay, we're getting a lot more engagement. So I might reduce the budgets on this, I might increase it on this. So this is all called optimization. And this is then what we keep doing. So this is a complete repetition, this entire process. Now, we'll run these campaigns for 2-3 months. After some time, the campaigns start dying because people start getting bored looking at them. And then you again have to repeat the whole process. So anyway already by your customers. And now you're like, okay, what new can we create in terms of content? Okay, let's target them in this way. Now we've learned XYZ. from our previous campaigns. Let's now work on that and put in some new ideas. So this complete cycle goes on and on and on and on. New platforms come in, new ideas come in, new kind of ads are shown, new bases are there. And this is what we completely do as the marketing team over and over again. So, in general, as a picture, I wanted to show, this is what it looks like from top, right? Where, as a consumer, you're looking at, okay, oh, wow, this is like a brand's Instagram page, looks cool. You read some blogs about a brand, okay, very nicely written, nice pictures, there's that. You see videos, you see like billboards, you see, you've typed in something on Google, you see an ad. So, from outside, everything looks very hunky-dory, everything looks, well designed or, thought out, obviously, if it's a well thought out brand. But, the back end, it's also a lot of fun, but there's a lot of study going on in the back end. Like just for that one ad to be shown to you, there is so much study that has gone in. There are so many people that have worked on it. There is so much testing that has gone in, which is why you're seeing this ad. That small video that you see for like 10 seconds or 15 seconds and scroll through has complete shooting day with models, with ideas, with scripts, all that in place before. That Instagram page that you see that looks cool or whatever has so much like planning of so many months behind it on how the grid will look, what are the colors that work, what is the content that works here, should we do pictures, should we do this, that. There's a complete design behind it. There are so many group interactions and group sessions that happen with a lot of brainstorming, and then eventually the output of everything is okay. You see a certain ad, you see certain social media, you see something popping up on your Instagram, or you're going through Pinterest and you see something, or something cool happens on TikTok by a brand, or some brand is being very quirky on Twitter. And this is all a culmination of all this planning, that happens. And it's a lot of fun. It's still technical. It's a lot of fun as well. So a lot of creative juices mixed with a lot of technicality, which was a very good mix for me as a person, because I'm a creative person, but I was very good at technicality and technology in general. So this was a very good fit, for me. Again, another major question was, so one thing that Tribe is very, very well known for in the industry, and moreover with youth brands, is how we've cracked our social media game. That is something that is talked about a lot. We've been awarded and congratulated a lot based on our social media. So what we realized, over time, initially we started out with, let's just like make a, it's basically like you're starting something new, right? So you sit down and you're like, okay, what do 18-year-olds like? Let's make like memes. Let's make like, okay, Monday we'll put motivational quotes. Every Tuesday we'll put memes. Every Wednesday we'll put, like something, like we'll put a poll or a quiz. Every Thursday we'll put like interesting facts. We'll put a little bit of sales in between. This is what we would do in the starting. And then over time, we've obviously studied, realized, spoken to people. We've also educated ourselves. And we realized that, one thing that we do very well is we do not sell. As in, our social media is not at all about, okay, we are selling extremely good hostels with extremely good beds, completely air conditioned. We have a cafe, we have a this, that. That is not what we do at all. So all we use our social media is to show what the customer feels when they join Tribe, or what experience Tribe provides, or what the people in Tribe are doing, and just the life at Tribe. And that is ultimately what people want to see, right? Like for on Instagram, you don't want to look at, you're not coming on Instagram for news. You're coming on Instagram because you want to see something really cool, or you want to see great pictures and great content, or you want to see something that is extremely interesting, or something that is visually very striking, or something that is extremely funny, right? So you want to see these fun things, which is why you're on this app, something that will grab your attention. So eventually we moved to a platform where we would just show the daily life of people here, people doing fun stuff. And we would never sell our product through that, right? But just showing how people were feeling living at Tribe. And that worked so well for us, because now people would come and the people would contact us, would be like, we love the kind of vibe you guys have there. We love like the kind of fun you all are having. We love the crowd. We love like how everyone is so open and so relaxed, in the videos. And that's what they look at. No one is now looking at the bed, or they're not looking at the rooms. They're only looking at this. Again, so, how we did this was, user generated content is king. So we cracked a very good way of getting people living with us to engage with us, send us their videos, send us what they're doing on a daily basis, make fun stuff with our team so that we can post it online. So we were literally getting the daily life of people living with us and having fun, which is like, it's ultimate. If you get user generated content for any brand where your customers, talking about your brand and you're getting that on video, it's amazing. Again, trending topics. So we know that trending topics is, a reason why a lot of people use social media. A lot of people, why like things are shared which are completely trending, some breaking news or some new album drop or something, amazing that's happened right now is immediately shared, spoken about. So we know trending topics is gold. And people trust people, testimonials. Like, I'll give you such a simple example. You can go and read 5 reviews online of a movie, but when 3 friends come and tell you, oh, bro, you need to watch this movie, it'll change your life, it's insane, you had a great time, you'll immediately book a ticket. Why? Because you always trust people and you always trust your fellow people and you always trust people who are like you. So these 3 things we used really, really well, which really completely changed, our brand and, which is so heavily dependent on social media because of our customer. So, what is the best form of digital marketing in terms of cost per acquisition and ROI? So, like I said before, Google search is so amazing because you're literally showing an ad and paying for that ad when someone is literally searching for your product or someone is searching for something related to it. Like, there is no other channel on the internet or no other thing currently that I know of, apart from the other search engines like Bing and stuff. But, let's be real, we're talking about the big one, right? So, Google search that way is the number one channel, which, is always the number one priority and should be for any brand. Because if you're not doing Google search when a customer is searching for you and you're not showing, it's no point doing anything else. So, and why? Because it's inbound, right? So it's inbound. Sorry. So it's completely inbound, which means that, only when someone is searching for it, you're showing that ad to them. Second thing is another big question that we always get is PR actually that important and how does it really help? PR is public relations. So PR does help, but one needs to realize that you get immediate results in digital marketing, but PR is a long-term game. Like, you start seeing results a couple of months or 4-5 quarters, a year, 2 years down the line. Because what happens in PR is the entire idea of marketing is you want to basically be visible to your customer in multiple places. Now, today, everyone uses a phone, then they're watching TV, they're using probably an iPad, then they're going out on their bikes and cars and they're seeing billboards. So you want to be visible in all the places that this person is visiting, which is what PR helps, right? So, okay, if I'm online, but now someone is read it in a magazine, a magazine is read by different kinds of people. They are reading physical stuff, they're talking to each other, or they're searching for Tribe and they see the website, but then they see like 10 blogs written under it and they're like, okay, this seems legit. It seems like a legit company. So they read about this and you can create your own story. So now if I want to project Tribe as a very international, brand that is, extremely snobbish and, is extremely for like, if like for example is for rich brands, I can completely change my tone and change my stories based around that. If I want to project Tribe as a very affordable brand where we do things for you at a very affordable price and this is for everyone, the complete story of how I talk, the articles that come out change. So you can create your own story. So people build that idea of your brand after seeing how your PR is everywhere. Then another thing, in India that they say very often is "Jo dikhta hai, wo bikta hai." So, if you are visible in more places, if you are visible in multiple avenues, the more visible you are, the more people see you, the more people will talk about you. It's as simple as that. You forget so many brands because they stop advertising and marketing. Brands like Coke, for example, they don't need to advertise. They don't need to do PR. Everyone knows Coke. But why do they keep doing it? Because the more you see it, the more it's always in your mind, and the more you'll always go for that bottle. You don't see it in 2-3 years, it's out of sight, out of mind. You slowly start wondering, where's Coke? I haven't seen that in so long. Or you have something one day, you see a product and you're like, oh shit, I haven't heard about this in so long. So it's all about hearing about it in different places. And the more news, the more the brand value. So, the more news is always better. Sometimes they also say, bad news is also good news. Why? It creates conversation. So a lot of times they say, the more conversation about your brand in the more places, it's always better for your brand as long as people are talking about it or reading about it. So depends on the brand, but this is where PR helps. And then eventually, when you create this conversation, PR is also being seen by investors. PR is being seen by other businesses. PR is being seen by competitors. It's been seen by a lot of different people. Not just for sales. So you're creating a brand idea in your mind about something. Like you feel good wearing Nike shoes. Why? Not because they sent you an ad, but because you're reading articles about Nike. You know what Nike is doing. You know what the story of Nike is. Okay, they've released a campaign. They are anti-racism. You know these things about Nike. This is why you feel good wearing Nike shoes. So this is what PR does, right? It builds a story around your brand, which gets stickiness in your customer. So this is like what PR did for us, right? So in the first year, we were like in Hindustan Times, we were in Times of India, we were in Finance Times, we were in Business Standard, we were on the front page of Business World magazine. We were, also in international magazines. We were in Architecture Digest and stuff. So this kind of thing. When you share it as a brand, when you project it, when there's a lot of press talking about it, it shows legitimacy. People trust your brand more. Another question I get is, okay, what exactly is SEO and is it helpful? So, like a lot of times people say, oh, SEO, yeah, I know SEO. It's basically, creating a lot of nice blogs. So, creating blogs is not SEO. That is a very small part of SEO. So, SEO in simple terms is Google tells you, okay, you have to do these 50 things. If you do these 50 things well on your website and from outside, I will show your website at a higher rank organically. Simple. So one thing is writing good content that is relevant to your brand, so that when people search, it comes up. One is, your brand people should be talking about your brand in different places with backlinks to your website from more legitimate places. So it shows legitimacy. The speed of your website, the quality of your website, the content on your website, things like optimizing different things. So there are a lot of things on your website, offline and online, that you do to increase your organic listing. That means tomorrow, even if all my paid marketing is off and someone searches for hostels, my website should come up in the first 3 or 4 without me spending money. So over time, it's free marketing for me and free leads. So yes, it's extremely helpful. It's something that happens long term. You're supposed to do it regularly. It's free traffic. It's all organic. It's legitimate traffic because your brand is showing up without an ad, so someone trusts your brand more, and it's organic growth. So without spending money, people are coming this traffic. Like today, we've reached a position where most of our top keywords, like for example, boys hostel in Pune, comes up in the first 3 listings on Google. So if I stop all my ads today, I still come up in the top 3 if anyone searches for similar terms. These are a couple of awards that we've gotten because of our brand, PR, the way we've created the story around Tribe, getting all these things together as marketing and brand. We got a lot of these awards, and this has all happened in the first 2 years of starting our brand. We're just a 3-year-old company. So, this is kind of what happened because of everything. And managing this entire game is what a marketing head does on a daily basis. So every month we create a strategy. This is what we're doing. This is the idea. Now I want to project this. These are the platforms. This is the plan. Now my team can go and execute. Now I check every week. Okay, now show me the reports, guys. Is everything going on track? Show me what ads are running. Is everything going on track? Ideation, like a lot of the ideas, you have to come up with, you have to research, you have to see what's going on in the industry, what is trending, what are other people doing. Then decisions, okay, do I start a new avenue? Do I stop? Okay, I've got an opportunity there. Do I jump on that? How much budget do I put here? All the decisions are based on your hand. And then explanations, okay, why did something work? Why did we not sell out this hostel? How did this hostel sell out in 2 months? What do we need to do now to basically fill the rest of it? How much do I need in terms of a budget? So this entire story and game is what we are doing regularly on everyday basis. And the biggest learnings, I think this is probably the most important thing that we take from, marketing, Tribe and myself, that I've learned over the years is, don't sell the product, sell how it makes you feel. Like if you see shot on iPhone, that campaign, right? It doesn't say, like a lot of other competitors, that your camera is 50 MB, megapixel, and it's got 10 sensors and it's so huge and it's great. Apple just shows you what you can click. So what you get using your product and how it makes you feel. You can click great photos. Show exactly how you're solving their problems. So privacy by Apple, that was the latest campaign. So they figured out that the customers have a big problem with privacy, and they went bang on and created a marketing campaign all based around privacy, which was a huge hit, and people bought that. Use humor. Like everything doesn't have to be so calculated and so like researched. Sometimes like we also do break the box and we just do something completely wild, completely funny. So use humor. Never compromise on quality. So every ad that you put up, or everything that is on a billboard, or everything that you produce as a company should be high quality. So like don't put out something which is like, for example, don't put out a video on Instagram which is low quality, pixels. Don't put out a picture that is blurred. Don't put out like a voice recording or something that is, not done in a good quality level. Quality matters a lot, and people relate to your brand, with that quality. Measurement is as important as the idea. Okay, you've had a great idea, but then you have to keep measuring it to see if it's working or not working. So that is something that you have to keep doing continuously, which is extremely important. And the last is be consistent with your branding. So, you have a brand, you have a design language, you have an idea, be consistent. Like, don't suddenly change all your brand colors out of the blue. People won't connect to it. Like, like if, for example, I keep taking the example of Apple because it's something everyone knows, but you'll never see Apple going berserk, changing their fonts to curvy fonts and using purple in one image and then suddenly using a black and white and the standard fonts in one. People don't relate. So keep consistency in your branding. Your Twitter page, your Instagram page, your Facebook page, everything from a business card to your office to your posters, everything should be consistent. It should look like it's from your brand. And that's it basically for today. I think I've been exactly on time with 45 minutes. And this is moreover what I wanted to talk a little bit about what marketing is, and this is where you can find me. And this is a little bit about our website. And thank you guys. I hope that was informative.
Great, Aman. I think that was an informative session related to digital marketing. So there are a few questions that has been asked from the viewers in terms of digital marketing, right? So the initial one would be, I think, as you have mentioned, right, as a paid ad or ads create a huge impact on marketing part. So what do you think, like, is it paid ad necessary? Is it possible to go ahead with organic way also? And if yes, then what kind of things that has to be considered?
See, what I would say straight up is, I don't want to sugarcoat it, but I don't think in today's world it's possible to really grow your brand as fast as possible without paid ads. Like I would straight say it's not. I would say don't waste your time trying it. A lot of people will tell you, okay, of course it's possible. See, unless you land up doing something that goes extremely viral in terms of like some video or some content, but that is very rare. You can't recreate virality, or there's no science to it. It has to be something that is completely goes berserk out of nowhere. So I would say if you have to grow a brand, you have to show paid ads. Like even for me to reach my audience today on Instagram, I have to pay a little bit to boost an ad, like to boost my own post.
Got it.
So I don't want to sugarcoat it. You will have to.
Great. That answers. Aman, the next follow-up question is, as you have mentioned, right, content plays a huge role also in terms of marketing a particular product. So currently, meme is a trend that is going on, and which meme pages are being used in terms of making the product publicized in a particular forum, right? So what do you think, like, what kind of content, or is it specific to an industry, or else is it something that which currently goes with the trend? What kind of content that really matters?
See, that's what I'm saying. I mean, there are basic 4 or 5 things that people are interested in, right? Like it's very simple. Like just think, why would people come? Like, okay, if I am targeting people on Instagram, for example, people come on Instagram to view beautiful pictures. They basically come to spend pastime on Instagram, right? To view beautiful things, for funny stuff that they can share. Now for even a little bit, informative in terms of things, or something that is extremely interesting. So it has to fit in these categories. It has to fit with your brand. Like for example, I know there are brands, like there are local, city brands like there's Humans of Bombay, which talks about the life stories of different human beings in Bombay, and they do it so well. So their brand has that kind of content. You have meme pages that have 10 million followers because they are known for creating extremely funny memes. So they have that kind of content. So you need to figure out what your brand wants to say and be consistent with that.
Okay, got it. And as I mentioned, Aman, like there are a lot of other players or other companies who don't really, what do you say, go ahead with going ahead with the ads or something like that. But though their products, what do you say, either sell or else do well in the market. So, what kind of strategy they might go for? They might use or they might go ahead.
I mean, honestly, I'd be very surprised if there are such companies who are, have grown big, without spending any money on advertising. So I don't know if there are any such. I know one example, which is a very big example, which is Tesla.
Yes.
So Tesla is a company that spends zero on marketing. But I mean, basically the thing is, the CEO of Tesla has, one of the most engaging followings on Twitter, and who is one of the richest people on earth, right? So that is something that is a slightly different outlier because of the personality of the man that is driving it and his following and his 15-20 years of experience and coming in news and work and sweat to come up. So, but everyone is not Elon Musk, and
Yes.
I don't know any other brand that has kind of really become big. I mean, obviously you have smaller brands that sell using WhatsApp, you do forwards, you do it from your own Instagram pages, you grow your own profiles and you market it. But eventually, if you want to start growing it as a company and growing it as a firm at the speed at which you want, okay, you want to spend 5 years spending, like selling 10,000 products, of course you can do it without paid marketing. But you want to do the same in 6 months, you'll have to pay.
Got it. So, Aman, one more question that would be in terms of for a fresher, let's say who have graduated recently and who are looking for something on digital marketing role, or who are currently in a technical domain, who want to switch to this management fields. Like, what do you think? Like, what kind of skill sets they should have, and what kind of understanding they should have to go ahead with this career?
See, basically there is a lot of analytics involved, but that is, so if you have a slightly analytical mind, you can read numbers, you can read basic Excels, you understand how to think, you have a creative mind. So I would say, things like your Google certification course or Google Ads course online is extremely important if you're getting into this kind of field. See, even if you're not doing it yourself, you need to know how things work.
Yes.
So like for me, like I'm not sitting and creating my own Google campaigns. I'm not sitting and creating my own Insta campaigns, but I know how it works. I know what the problems are. I know what the new features are. I know everything. That's my job to know. So, there are a lot of courses, there are a lot of certifications in digital marketing today that you can do. You need to have a little technical mind. You need to be very creative in terms of what people are doing and how platforms work. You need to have an interest in that, and I think moreover anyone can really get into it if you have an interest in it.
Great, that answers Aman. And I think before we wind up, last question that would be is what is the importance of retention to make the industry or to make the company better, or else how does a digital marketing platform helps into getting the customer retained for a few longer period?
So, very good question. So marketing is usually split into two groups. And when companies start growing big, they usually have two different teams that do this. So you have one team that is called acquisition and one team that is called retention. So the job of acquisition is to bring the first customers onto the platform and get them signed up. Simple, at the best cost possible. The job of retention now is to keep them coming back. So it is extremely important retention, because okay, you can do as well as possible to bring your customer on your platform. They buy a product from you and they're gone. But the same customer coming repeatedly to your platform and buying things from you is what is eventually going to give you profit, because when he comes back, you're not spending the same amount of money to get that guy back. He's coming back for free.
Yes.
He's coming back only for the cost that you spend on retention marketing. So things in retention are like, you have referral programs, you have offers, you have discounts, you have, certain shopping festivals, you have like the Amazon Diwali festival. You have a lot of these perks. You have like loyalty programs, which is the most important thing. So like why I use Make My Trip again and again, because every time I stay in a hotel or I book a flight, I get points and I get a discount later. So this is all what marketing retention does, and it's probably as important as acquisition.
Great. I think that answers, Aman. I think we are at the end of the session. Anything that you want to specify to our viewers so that they can improvise if they are currently going ahead in this current field, or else if they're looking to take an opportunity to step on digital marketing programs or else career?
So what I would say is, please, do a little bit of study and understand which part of digital marketing you want to get into. There are a lot of different avenues even in digital marketing. There is the technical avenue where if you want to actually run the ads, see the numbers, see things improve, manage, the money that comes with this. That is one. One is creating content, social media, design, branding. That's another. Another is only strategy, thinking, managing different clients on different accounts. You want to be an account manager. So, be sure about what you want to do. It's a very interesting play. But do your research in advance, I would say. And it's a very exciting field. It's a very good mix between creativity and technicality. And it's something I believe that will never die. Honestly, will only keep improving now with the metaverse and Web3 and different things coming up now with different ways, but it's all going to be digital. So I don't see digital marketing as a brand diminishing. I see it as one of the fastest growing industries. So it's a great industry to be in.
Great. So audience, that was a note that digital marketing is having, I would say, greater marketing or else greater market in the future, where you can definitely consider one of these platforms to either choose your career on, right? So that would be one point that I would like to add. And again, thank you so much, Aman, for being here and addressing our audience. And I believe our audience have got most of the insights related to digital marketing and how it works, how digital marketing manager works, right? And if you are planning to start your own, or if you want to do entrepreneurship or something, definitely you can consider these points. And we'll be coming back with a similar kind of topics in the future related to digital marketing and what kind of things it will be needed for the career or opportunities that you're looking for, right? So considering those, I would like to ask you to stay tuned and subscribe to the Verzeo channel, and we do provide similar kind of talks in the future, and we do provide programs which is relevant to these fields. So definitely go ahead with that, and I would highly recommend you to check out Aman's LinkedIn handle, because he provides a lot of information relevant to that. And if you have any questions or anything, I believe Aman would be eager to help you out on that. Right?
More than that.
So that's all from my end, audience, and that's all from my end, Aman. Thank you so much again.
Yes.
That was my pleasure to make you invited for this particular webinar. So thank you all. Have a great evening. It's Ajay Bilav here signing off.
All right. Cheers.